We want to subtract these two fractions. What we notice about them is we have different denominators, which means we need to get common denominators on this before we can subtract them. They both have the same number and the same sign it has to be. So they both have to be the same in order to subtract. We need to find the least common denominator for this. And that's just going to be these two things multiplied together. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply each one by what it's missing in order to get the common denominator that we said we have to have. So the first one here, I have the x plus 3 in the bottom, but it's missing x minus 3. So I'm going to multiply by what it's missing. I'm multiplying this by a power of 1 because then I'm not changing the original problem by doing that. This is just really technically 1, and I'm multiplying something by 1, doesn't change it. Now the other one, I have x plus 7 over x minus 3. It has the x minus 3, but it's missing the x plus 3. Okay, so I'm going to multiply again by a power of 1 here. We're going to multiply across the top, and on the bottom, I like to keep that in the factored form. The reason why is because there's some occasions where everything you combine on top might be able to be factored, and you can cancel out with something on the bottom. So that's why I'm going to keep the bottom one multiplied out, or just leave it in the factored form here, x plus 3, x minus 3. I'll just leave it like that. Now on top, we have to FOIL this. So if we multiply this, we get x squared. We have minus 3x minus 6x is minus 9x. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. That would be the first fraction. Next, I need to multiply these. X times x, x squared. X times 3 is 3x, and I have 7x, so plus 10x. 7 times 3 is 21. And again, I get x plus 3, x minus 3. I'm just going to keep this in the factored form there. I'm ready to combine these together as one fraction because I've got common denominators now. So I'll put x plus 3, x minus 3 here. On top, I have this quadratic. Now, this other one, the minus, you have to subtract the entire thing. So that's one thing you have to be careful about when you do these kind of problems. When you have a subtraction, subtraction means you're subtracting everything, which means that I need to distribute the minus sign on the top here. So I'm going to have minus x squared, minus 10x, minus 21. The bottom is still going to be the same. Now doing that, I can combine the like terms. First of all, I notice that the x squares are going to cancel out. So these are gone, plus and minus. I have the negative 9 and negative 10 is negative 19x. And then I have 18 minus 21, which means that's going to be minus 3. And I have all that over x plus 3, x minus 3. Now, nothing here cancels, which means I'm going to leave this exactly the way it is. I can't do any more with that. So that's my final answer, negative 19x minus 3, x plus 3, x minus 3 on the bottom. Let's try another one of those. So this next one, once again, we need to get common denominators. So much like the one that we just did up here, it's very similar. We have different denominators, so we're going to multiply by powers of 1. That's the same thing again that we're going to do on this problem right here. Okay, so this one, we have the common denominator is it's going to be these two things multiplied together. X minus 3, x plus 7. The first one has x minus 3, but it's missing x plus 7. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 7. Then this one over here, I have x plus 7, but I'm missing x minus 3. So I'm just multiplying by what it's missing. Again, you'll multiply across the top on this, 9x plus 63. The bottom one, as before, I'm going to leave it in the factored form. Over here, I've got so one thing about the minus is notice that I'm ignoring the minus sign. I'm just multiplying by 5 only. We'll subtract it in the next step. So I just leave the negative out front. Then we do 5x minus 15. So I'm not distributing the negative just yet. I'm doing that in the next step. X minus 3 and x plus 7. Now I have common denominators. I'll combine them together as one. So I have x minus 3, x plus 7 is there. On top, I have 9x plus 63. Remember, you're subtracting the entire thing. So I'm subtracting this whole thing, 5x minus 15. This is where I'm now going to distribute the minus sign. So I'll do that in my next step here. So I get 9x plus 63 minus 5x plus 15. In the bottom, I have x minus 3, x plus 7. Finally, I'm going to add the like terms. 9x minus 5x is 4x. Then I have 63 plus 15. And so when I combine that together, 78, we're going to get. So I get 4x plus 78. And on the bottom, x minus 3, x plus 7. We could also factor this one. We can factor out a 2 from there, common factor, and we get 2x plus 39. And then we get this here, x minus 3, x plus 7. So it's always good to factor just in case there might be something you can cancel, but in this case, there's not. So I just have nothing cancels from this one. So that's going to be my final answer.